And like it worked fine. Super simple. And you know, you do that and then you get more interesting stuff. Because it's not, you know, every fighter isn't using, you know, a girdle of strength or bracers of ogre power. You've got, like, that's where the magic item compendium really came in, because the magic item compendium had a lot of really cool, just weird gear in it. And man, some of the shit I saw, they include it. Yes, actually, now that you mention it, yeah, they do. I can't remember what book that was in, though. I think that might have been in the Game Mastery Guide. Oh, it's Unchained. There you go. Which, like, it blows my mind that it's such a ridiculous thing. I want to say that they actually pulled those rules from Starfinder. I think Starfinder is where they first kind of tested the waters on that. Just lower the rules. The problem with doing that is that, like, one of the things about 3rd edition D&D and Pathfinder 1E is that the rules are consistent between player characters and like NPCs and monsters. And if you start just fucking with that stuff, the consistency breaks, and for some players I have found that is incredibly triggering. And so I just found it easier to just, and it's also just less work on my part. Like, I don't have to go through and tinker with everything. I can just be like, no, this is the player's responsibility. You guys get bonuses, employ them. Yeah, like, there you go. And like, I get that, don't get me wrong, I get it. Like, that was one thing in my house rules. Like, I had some stuff in there that was player facing only, like, player characters with multiple attacks. You could, once you get multiple attacks, normally you have to spend a full round action, so you basically have to spend your whole turn attacking to get all of your attacks. But in my house rules, if you had levels in player character classes, you could just full attack whenever you wanted, basically. Like, you could move in full attack. And this was to buff marshals, because good God, they need all the help they can get. But aside from that, I don't think there were too many things that I had that worked like that. I know the way that I folded the big 6 into player progression worked like that, but that was kind of necessary because otherwise you'd have, you know, 40 hit die monsters gaining ridiculous bonuses just because they had a lot of hit die. Yeah, like, that's the thing, is that 5th edition has a lot more in common with actually, like, 1st and 2nd edition, in that the players kind of operate on very different rules from NPCs by and large. And for some people that's great, and for other people it's very, very upsetting. Because, like, for example, in, you know, like Beckme, like what I would be running the Dark Sun game in, for example. You know, your player characters have their ability scores and stuff. NPCs that are like humans or whatever will also have ability scores, but like an ogre, for example, it doesn't have stats like that. You have their hit dice, you know, like what their chances to hit are based on their hit dice, and like that's about it. Like, stat blocks for enemies are super straightforward, which I like because it makes pulling shit out of your ass really, really easy when it comes to, like, just running the game moment to moment. Like, you know, the players pick a fight with some rando that you don't have stats for, you can just bullshit stats and it's like nothing. Like, okay, Phil the shopkeeper is a 2nd level fighter. You can be like, well, I know he has 2d10 hit points, well, 2d8 in Beckme, and like a +1 to hit, and then it's just whatever weapon he has for damage, and like whether or not you want to give him a bonus to hit from strength or whatever. And that's literally all you need to care about, unless, you know, you want to worry about saving throws, which even that you can just kind of willy-nilly a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it as well, Huracut, is that, like, by and large, in my mind, the player shouldn't really care too much about, like, how the monster stats are figured out, so long as it's done in a way that is consistent and feels fair. Ow. Because, like, as soon as it starts feeling bullshitty, that's, I think, where the disconnect comes in. And it's really easy to hit that if you're not careful. And it's something that, like, a lot of DMs, especially new ones, they fall into that. Like, yeah, it's like in the Owlcat games. Heresies that they are. Yeah, like that's something that frustrates me to no end, and I mean, like, I'm constantly bitching about it. Like, that's the thing, is, you know, it's just constant petulant rage, and it's not just the Owlcat games that do it. I mean, the Baldur's Gate games did it. Fucker's curving his windstorms at me. What is this, that one Angelina Jolie movie where they curve bullets? I guess this is just the D&D talk stream now. Ow, ow. I was actually okay with them doing up to... Fuck, no. I was okay with them doing, like, the ridiculous plus bonuses on weapons in 3rd edition, in the epic level handbook, going to plus 10. I don't know why it didn't bother me, but it was like, yeah, okay. I understand why going up to, like, plus 6 feels, you know, epic. It's always a D&D talk stream. I mean... yeah, there's a lot of D&D talk in these streams, I guess. You're not wrong. So what is that sword we just got? Is that a katana? No. Meteoric Ore Blade. It is a katana. It's just not a great katana. Alright, oh, it's gravity magic. Ew. Okay, well, he's dead. Let's see. Weapons be what they are. Flaming longsword being a longsword does a d6 and counts as magical. Like, yeah, I'm okay with that. Absolutely. Like, and that's in a lot of ways how it was in old D&D. Like if you have a flaming longsword, you know, it deals longsword damage and then it's like a point of fire damage. And, you know, back in the day, that was like the coolest fucking shit in the world. And then, you know, 3rd edition hits. Man, I wish I still had the character from Arcurus's Strange Aeons game. The weapon I wielded, because my character's stats were kind of garbage for actually inflicting damage. So I had this scimitar, and it was like a +1 flaming, shocking, acidic scimitar. It was ridiculous. And so it's like, you know, it's the d6 damage from a scimitar and then a d6 fire and a d6 cold and a d6 acid or whatever, because that was the only way I could build him to actually kill things. But it's just such an absurd weapon. And, like, that was actually something that I house ruled in my games at one point, was that you were, like, with magic weapons, you could have a, like, basically the plus on it and then one property, and that was it. And, like, for me, that felt reasonable. But again, in my house rules, I also buffed the properties and made them more powerful, and, like, they would scale with, like, the higher a weapon's plus value was, the more powerful they would become. See, we've actually not been up here yet. I'm trying to think, like, where we haven't been. I don't know how me and the guys have, like, 40 levels on me right now. We haven't been that thorough. I mean, I've not been that thorough either, but goddamn. +1 flaming icy acid. Yeah, There you go. Oh, believe me, Kibitz, that was next. As soon as I could afford it, that's what I was gonna do. And the reasoning behind it was that I could cast Greater Magic Weapon. And so I'd cast Greater Magic Weapon and it would go from +3 to or +1 to +3 or +4. And like that's third edition. You don't care about the plus bonus on your item because you can just Greater Magic Weapon it up to +5. And yes, I was a walking blue deck. That character was so fun to play. Anytime Arcturus thought he could do anything, my character was like, no. Like, I had a thing that would let me sacrifice spell slots to make him reroll attacks and stuff. I have so much respect for his restraint. I would have been just raging incoherently running that character. Okay, I guess we're going up here. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, if a critical hit, I could have it damage my shield, give it the broken condition, but then I could just cast Make Whole after the fight to fix it. Yes, I did carry. I carried, I think, 2 shields. Man, that character was a bunch of fun to play. So much fun. I wasn't really primary damage though. I was mostly there to just like stand next to people and like make them better. I was a healer actually. I was playing an Oracle. And most of my stuff was just buffing the rest of the party so that they could kick the shit out of everything, and I kind of looked busy and made a nuisance of myself. And it was a lot of fun because that's normally not the kind of character I play. I mean, I like playing divine casters like oracles and clerics, but I tend to play them more as melee fighters that are actually like competent at killing the shit out of things. Whereas this character was just literally just, yeah, support and being a pain in the ass. And it was a lot of fun. God, I forgot that we never killed this dude. We are so overleveled for this. Not even funny. I don't care about your combat mechanics. I'm just gonna kill you anyway. There we go. And that's what I need to hear. Just infuriating. I had plans for that too, Arcturus. There's a reason if you look at my spell list, I have Levitate on there. My plan was that if you dominated him, I was just going to levitate up into the air and wait him out. It was so good. I think I had Wall of Stone too. And the other plan was to like dome him into a wall of stone while I made my escape. I also had Wall of Stone in case I needed to make a heroic sacrifice where I could wall like a group of enemies off or something. I had plans for that character. He was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that campaign. I know that it was kind of ill-fated, but I really had a good time. It was nice to return to that character. You're on the race and suplexes me. Yeah, that's the thing, is that if the Barbarian had gotten a hold of me, he would have absolutely killed the shit out of me. Because... So the character that I played was Cambui, which was the same character that I played in the Kingmaker Owlcat game. If he had gotten a hold of Cambui, like, I had a really good AC, and my defensive options were strong, but I worked better at protecting others than myself by, like, interfering with enemies attacking them. So in a one-on-one fight against something that was as murderous as that Barbarian was, I had no chance. No chance whatsoever. I think this is one of the pictures, which isn't going to be a picture, it's going to be something else. Blood Rose. Woo. Play Rogue Trader. That's what I've heard. I've heard Rogue Trader is actually pretty solid, and I don't know as much about those rules. I know like next to nothing about those rules. So I'd actually probably enjoy it a good bit more than the Pathfinder games, because I wouldn't recognize all the bullshit Owlcat was getting up to. Yeah, that's also true, Arcturus. I had forgotten about that he had that fucking totally not evil sword. Trying to remember. Oh, that's right. Okay, so this area up here, this is actually Ranni's quest line. That's right. Okay, so we can't do that. I wonder, do I have any imbued? I have one imbued sword key. Okay, we can do one of the towers then, I suppose. Just wanted the blood of a paladin. That's funny, considering we had a paladin in the party. Nice. That's glorious. I fucking love it. Rogue Trader is also nowhere near as toxic in design as Wrath of the Righteous. That's good to hear. Yeah, Wrath of the Righteous, that game... Man. That one broke me. That just absolutely broke me. And like, man, I wish those games had a toolkit like Neverwinter Nights, because the community would just go absolutely insane with it and probably release some really cool shit. But they're like Knights of the Chalice 2. Really cool engine, but designed to be played as if the game master hates you and wants to kill both your character and you. And it's just not fun. It's not fun at all. I think we get invaded here, if I recall correctly. Wrath of the Ghost Let's Plays, yes. 100%. And like, that's the thing that gets me too about Wrath of the Righteous, Huracut, is that I read when that Adventure Path came out, people that were running it are like, yeah, you know, my characters are like 10th or 11th level with these mythic levels under their belts, and they're like fighting half a dozen pit fiends and just mopping the floor with them and stuff. And then I play Wrath of the Righteous and the game's just like, no, you're just dying a lot and it's fucking terrible. And it makes me so sad. I also just realized that I aggro that shit. Yes, I did. Just realized the drink cam is overpowered. It's too large. I need to tab out really quick. Grab this. I need shift. No. There we go. Drink cam goes over the totally not Estus flask. There we go. So yeah, I mean, like, there's stuff. There's stuff I would like to do. A Dark Sun Westmarches game does sound kind of fun, though. If we were to do something like that, I would lean towards either... I would probably lean towards throwing it into the future far enough that any player knowledge based on the campaign setting would be kind of superfluous. Just to keep kind of metagaming to a minimum. Oh man, if I ran it with Beckme too, ooh, because Beckme does race as class, so, you know, you can't play an elf fighter, you play an elf, or you play a dwarf, and if you're, you know, a fighter, a cleric, or whatever else, you're assumed to be human. That might be, because I would have to basically roll up or write up BECMI level progressions for things like mules and stuff. I agree with you, Arcturus. 100%. Oh, I remember this. This has like the worst troll. Okay, so there's these butterflies over here, and we're gonna totally go get them, right? And it's totally safe. Oh no! Elden Ring. But yes, Arcturus, that is one thing that I actually miss. I've missed in D&D since since third edition came out. Because third edition was what started the just absolute glut of player races. And man. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you had different races in second edition and stuff as well, but third edition just went like insane with it. I just remember like every flavor of elf. Like there was an elven sub-race or a race of elves, no matter what ability score modifiers you wanted for your character, you could get it as some flavor of elf. But yes, the elemental human sub-race, just like, I don't know. I'm ambivalent on race as a class. I can take it or leave it. I do think that it makes having members of non-human races, I think it makes them more interesting because they feel different. Because, you know, an elf mechanically is basically kind of just like a fighter wizard-ish thing, but it's not a fighter and it's not a wizard. They're very different, but it's kind of there. And, you know, you have like things like dwarves, for example. Dwarves have like, you know, they're basically fighters with some, you know, convenience abilities. The only ones that really get a shaft are kind of halflings. Halflings got fucked because like their whole thing is that they just have really good saving throws. And they have them from like first level. And that's about all they get. They can kind of like do thiefy things, but they otherwise are just kind of the... am I making... Yes, I probably would. Realistically, it would probably be just what's in... It would be what's in the BECMI rulebook plus probably some Dark Sun stuff. Like it would be... I would want mules, half giants, maybe. Probably. I think half giants are cool. But aside from that, it would just be, you know, fighters, clerics, thieves, magic users, illusionists. God, what were they called? The fucking... Not druids. Mystics? What were they called? Yeah, mystics. And I mean, yeah, I would want druids as well. That's the other thing, is that if I was running it in BECMI over second edition, clerics would be kind of weird because of how they're handled in Dark Sun, because they expected you serve like an elemental lord as a cleric in Dark Sun, and that kind of changed like your spell slots and your spells available and stuff. Halflings should be optimal thieves, but terrible at combat. See, the problem with that, though, is that in, like, BECMI, thieves suck. Thieves are terrible in BECMI. They have a D4 hit dice. That is one change I would probably make, because, like, fighters have a D8. I would probably bump fighters to, like, a D10, clerics to a D8. Basically use, like, new edition hit dice for classes. Because thieves are just... They're very, very bad in like first edition D&D and stuff. Everyone plays thieves. The actual solution is that back in the day, no one played thieves, and if you had a thief, they were a hireling, because they were just absolutely miserable to play. It's like low-level wizards, because, you know, a wizard in BECMI, you have like a spell. And of course that spell is going to be sleep, unless I randomly generate it, which if you're starting at third level, you'd get a couple picks anyways. Because sleep in BECMI, I don't believe, allowed a saving throw, and you just kill everything with it. But once you cast that spell, because in like BECMI D&D, wizards were proficient with like, it was like daggers and quarterstaves, and like that was it. So, you know, you cast your spell and you just kind of sat in the back of the party and shivered, maybe held the torch for everybody. And so I would probably want to give them some ranged weapon. They could use like a sling or something, or darts, because, you know, I'm all for wizards suffering for their art, but good God, that's a little much. Even starting at 3rd edition, or at 3rd level. And I mean, I know wizards in Dark Sun are kind of their own thing anyways, because of the whole defilers versus preservers thing. But yeah, I don't know. They can suck at the start. I mean, they do end up broken, but the thing is that with BECMI, the level cap is 36. And I'd be probably capping at like 9th level before I would suggest people to retire their characters. Hey, Ela, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So they wouldn't really hit the point where they got absolutely insane. Like, they basically just get access to teleportation magic, where I'm like, could start at 3rd. I mean, that's what we would be doing. If we did Dark Sun, you basically are encouraged to start at 3rd level, because the world is so brutal. 4 clerics. So the fun thing about clerics in BECMI D&D, clerics don't get any spells until 2nd level. So the 1st level, you're basically just a kind of crappier fighter that can turn undead. Again, not something you'd have to worry about in Dark Sun because you're starting at 3rd. But yeah, they're a worse fighter, but they can turn undead, which is actually surprisingly useful, because there are a lot of undead in a lot of early D&D. Okay, so it's not these guys I have to worry about. There's an asshole in here with a bow. Turn undead's okay if your DM lets you flex it. Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, a good DM will ideally give you opportunities, you know, to feel useful. But, oh, there she is. Ow. So we have to kill this chick like 3 or 4 times in here because she keeps wussing out like that, and she's gonna like teleport up there and start arrowing us. But yeah, it's if we're gonna do something like that, I'm gonna need to do some looking and like find. Go on, and find some material to maybe make it easier to transition, or maybe we wouldn't play BECMI. The alternative would be OSE, which I'm not a huge fan of. There is a Dark Sun port that somebody wrote for it, but I don't know of how high the quality is. I think it's pretty good. I've seen the community talking about it, and they seem to be kind of pleased with it. But I don't know. It's something that a lot of thought would have to go into before we start, because I would want to get rules and stuff consistent before anybody started getting into it, just so that I wouldn't have to be making a bunch of random adjudications down the line. Where are you? Oh, that's gonna hurt. Shoot the ladder, shoot the ladder. Ah, eat shit! The reverse tower is worse. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. The reverse tower is terrible. Die, die, die. There we go. Nomadic Warriors Cookbook. Boy, howdy, ain't it grand. I don't know if we might have the item to reverse the tower, now that I think about it. Basically, like, the ideal for me There's a rules compendium. God, what's the term for it? Okay, so with first edition D&D, somebody before Wizards went about like in recent years like reprinting all the books through DriveThruRPG and stuff, people wanted to be able to access the rules without needing to pay, you know, scalper prices to get their hands on the books. And way back in the days of like the early 2000s, there was a rule set called Osric, and it still exists, and I think it's actually getting an update later this year to like 3rd edition or something. And it's basically a reprint of the first edition rules with all of the identifying material stripped out. And there's Osric is first edition D&D. There's a similar rule set for second edition D&D called For Golden Glory. And there's one for BECMI D&D called, I think, like Dungeons Deep or Dungeons Dark, maybe? And they use things like, they have things like Ascending AC, and actually, no, I take that back. They use Descending AC, but the way hitting things work is it's a target 20 system. So you roll your d20 to hit, you add your modifiers, and if the roll is higher than 20, you hit. And the way armor class works is that you add the target's armor class to your roll. So if something has like an armor class of 8, it's really easy to hit. So you add 8 to your d20 roll, so even somebody with a +0 to hit by default still has a +8 in the end. Whereas if you have negatives, you subtract that from your roll. And I could do something like use that. It would also probably make it easier on people because it's an open rule set. I don't know. Wish someone would do that for 40K. No fucking kidding, right? Like, there's one-page rules for, like, Ghetto 40K, but it's not the same. It is just not the same. I can't remember if there's a point to getting... I don't think there's a point to getting on the chandeliers yet. I think we do have to turn this place upside down. Oh, there's rats. Oh, God. Oh, those are corpses. Okay, I feel less terrible now. 8 editions, but your nostalgia ends at 3rd. 40K, I don't really have a lot of nostalgia for, honestly. Warhammer Fantasy. I miss old Warhammer Fantasy a lot, like early 2000s. Well, I say early 2000s, but more like 2000... would have been like 2008, 2009. 'Cause I played that in college a little bit. With like a bunch of just stand-in like paper minis and stuff. It was a ton of fun. I have to remember, I think we flipped the thing down here. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is a ton of fun. Ton of fun. I fucking loved... I think it was 2nd edition. Do we have the thing that we put on this to reverse the place? I think we do. We do! Look at that. New editions of 40K come out before they finish. Yeah, Games Workshop is Games Workshop. They've gotten real scummy, which is saying something, at least from a consumer point of view. And that's by and large why I try not to give them money if I can afford doing so. Every so often, though, they release some skeletons that really do it for me. Alright, we have reversed the thing. Time of a nappy nap. Exactly. Their minis are great. I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that. It's just a shame about the everything else. I can't remember... just drop? Yes. Yes, we do. Now everything's upside down and worse. Oh, and there she is. Back with her goddamn bow. Fucking hands. Yes. Godspeed, Destructo. Thanks for swinging by. I hope your tests go well tomorrow. I truly do. They took a franchise based on references to see. Yeah, like that's part of it. And I mean, they're not the first company to do that. Just go absolutely crazy about something that was originally kind of supposed to be super tongue-in-cheek. I'm gonna die. Oh god, that's gonna... Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna hurt. This is terrible. This is... Yep. There we go. That's about what I expected to happen. That's okay, we'll be back. Reminds you of school back in the day, just getting savagely beaten because you came in with your whip. Fucking Lysandus. The stagger is just, that's what fucked me there. Which is saying something because we've got a poise of 73, which is pretty dang good, but not good enough. Love how it jumped through my whip and took no damage. Alright, you asshole, where are you lurking? No. Oh my god. I have massive sweeping attacks and just nothing is hitting. You need to die because you're throwing pots that projectile me. Okay. Now it's just us and her. And this is manageable. And ideally, I'm going to be able to punt her off the side. Or not. Off with you! Fucking Aaron's sword bullshit. Get. Oh, teleported away like a punk. Let's see. Spider hands, spider hands. Fucking bullshit spider. Oh god. Okay, let's kill these stupid things while she can't kill us. Oh, you better believe I'm coming for you, lady. Jesus. Toxic was amusing here because she ran away to die. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I respect it. I respect that level of spite. Pretty... Fuck you, dude. Just fuck you. Okay. Okay, here we go. I was gonna say, I thought I remembered a part where you had to actually platform on these friggin' things. Here we go again on my own. Jumping down the places I have known. Loot and freezing grease. I got nothing. That fucker like just hanging there off the side. Can't tell if that's an enemy or if it's just decor. I think it's just decor. Starlight shards. Pass. Come on. Okay. All right. Can I do this? Do I have? Can I craft my crystals of knowing whether or not I'm going to splatter myself on the terrain here, please? Let's see. There we are. Okay. Bye, magic floating rock. Frogman will miss you. Frogman has arrived. Can't remember if we can actually go through this. Can we? Yes. We're a monstrosity in the best of ways.
Let the blood rain from the sky!
Just look at that face. That is the face of supreme death. Okay, how are we looking on runes? We need about 23,000. Where's my list of runes? Oh, it's crafting. Haha! Well, here's 20. And here's 3-ish. Give me my level, you fox. Our dex is high enough now that I could be a katana wielding. I could be a katana wielding frogman. I'm just saying. We have 2 different katanas that I could be wielding. Actually, 4 different katanas. Glorious Nippon steel. Can't remember. Is there a? There might be a Godskin Apostle fight on this bridge. I don't recall. I think I remember fighting the fat. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I thought I remembered fighting the fat one on one of these bridges. Like not even a boss fight. He's just like here and doing his bloated fuckery. I hate this enemy so much. For so many reasons, I hate fighting these dudes. Mostly it's the fat roll though. And the incredible reach that this dude has that you would not expect. Like, look at that! I know it's coming, you chunky fucker. Is this it? No, it's just an explosion. No, that's it. No! Oh, get fucking wrecked, you pudgy cunt! Ah! I was ready for it. Ow. I suppose I can just, like, get you stuck over there. Now he's smart enough to go around. I don't remember. I don't think we deal more damage when we're two-handing. Ow! Asked for that. Yeah, get rolled, you chunky bastard. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Accurate. Cadence Sellsword Ashes, nothing really too particularly interesting. Wish they did more with the Godslayers. I honestly agree with you. It's like the FromSoft Souls-like thing, though, is it never feels like they touch on enough. Like, I always want more. Whitney's Miltank got whipped to death with a whip that's, like, covered in cleansing blades. Whitney probably won't be recovering from that one. I don't even know if we have the rune for this place. I don't think we do, actually. Yeah, we've got Radahn's and Moog's. I don't want to do Radahn's Tower, but we're gonna have to do Radahn's Tower. It's just a giant jumping puzzle. It sucks. Terrible, and I hate it. We might poke at it tonight. We've got another, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes that I'll go here before I'm gonna hit the hay because I'm getting kind of tired. Yes, I can get the Grace, which counts for something. I will happily take it. I can't remember how many Great Runes I have it set to that we need to be able to beat the game. I think it's 3. When I fail Radahn's Tower, it's because of gravity. No, we've discovered that it's because of Kibitz. Always. Hey, Ranny. Thanks for your stuff. Your mildly cooked corpse. Alright. Let's see. This should be it. Hey, Dusseldorf, welcome. Radahn's Tower is Miyazaki's most dastardly leg maze. I would agree with that. It's just terrible. Just terrible. You gotta climb that from the outside. Okay. I could give you guys the opportunity to bet on whether or not I'm gonna get this on my first try. That sounds like fun. Where is it? Prediction. This one, here we go. He's gonna die. He's gonna make it. Will Ghost climb Radahn's Tower. Oh, God damn it. On the first attempt. Let's see. You guys have 2 minutes. There you go. And while you do that, I'm going to take a quick bio. After the Three Fingers is worse. Three Fingers, that's the one behind Moog, right? I agree, it's terrible. Yeah, that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Man! You guys are certain I'm a dead man. Fair enough. 4%. 1 to 27 ounce. Good God. I'm just gonna end the stream. You trust me, Ghosty? I'm sorry, Hila. I'm gonna try my best for you. I'm glad you only spent a couple 100 points though and didn't go too hard in. Because I also don't actually remember the proper way up. Because I think there's one path that's a fake out that just gets you killed. I think it's this one, actually. I think we want to go onto the other side. You have a whole sound effects redeem writing on this? I'm sorry, Dusseldorf. I'm gonna try my best. Okay. What we have to be careful with is accidentally like winging a corner and getting lobbed off because the physics are weird. Can't remember if we can go around there. We're over there. We're up here. This is I hate this. I hate this. I hate this so fucking much. So if I get stuck, am I allowed to reset, I guess, is a question. Betting heavily on Ghost's failure. That's because you know me. You know me too well, Arcturus. It does not feel good. Oh, balls. I think I'm gonna have to reset, because otherwise we're gonna die. Yeah, alright, reset. Do it again. Back we go. This thing is terrible. I don't even know where we're going on it. As I like fall trying to roll onto this or something equally innocuous. Oh, I am going... I mean, technically true. Technically very, very true. We could... Okay, I went that way last time. Let's see. 'Cause I think, did I skip a... I might have skipped a ladder? 'Cause I don't think we can make this. I don't think you need the horse to do this. If I recall correctly. This roll sucks, by the way, landing on this, because I'm always worried that I'm gonna, like, wing that ledge and just catapult off into the ether. Feels like shit. Okay. So I think I might have gone over there. I literally just did it and I've already forgotten the progression that I made. No, we went over there. That's where we went. Okay. Ha ha ha! Oh, I want to do as little of this on the horse as possible because of NPCs being around, and I don't want to fight them. But I also have to be careful dismounting, because sometimes your guy just decides to jump backwards, and that's death. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here, dude. This fucking sucks with a whip, by the way. Absolutely terrible. God, now there are two of them. Multiple gaps. The things I do for randoms on the internet. Fucking, god damn it, Torrent, I swear. I want to get off the horse. But he's not obeying. He's not moving at all how I want him to feel comfortable dismounting. Which is why I want to minimize the amount of horse use that I'm doing in this. I don't know if this is the proper path. Multiple gaps. Good God. Oh. Ah. Then I throw myself off the ledge. I can't remember if there's more, so I'm not doling out points yet. Exactly. That's the kind of shit that I would expect. I'm not gonna dole out points until I have crafted the Great Rune. There's just a dragon up here and immediately incinerates me. Man, Ela and Dusseldorf are gonna be getting some fucking payouts from this one. My controller dies, and I just run off the edge. Well, there we go. Alright, there's our third Great Rune. Choose outcome. I made it. Are you sure? Yes. There you go. I'm sorry for those who probably lost their fucking pants in that one. 15.6 thousand points. Good God.
It just works.
Did 15K still have more? Jesus. Well, you've been watching me for years, Arcurus. I don't even want to know. All right. I mean, I suppose if anything, this is as good a place as any to go ahead and just call it a stream here.